Hey there, Naomi Findlay here, ready to set you up with some more tips on renovating to create wealth. Now, you may have figured out your goals and your ambitions for your next renovation project. You may have kicked those fears and insecurities in the butt and brushed up on your timekeeping skills. If you're caught up on where you need to be and finding your patch and finding your strategy, amazing. If you're just getting started, keep going. Or maybe you're really just still wondering, how do I get to the next step? Or how do I treat this like a serious project and not just a hobby? Maybe you're even thinking, wait, is there still more? How can these steps never end? Yep, there's definitely a lot to think about, but you don't have to feel overwhelmed by it all. That's why I'm here, to be your helping hand, to give you guidance for smashing your next renovation. Okay, so let's get going. It's time to nail the business part of things. Let's get business. The first step here is setting yourself up in regard to your finances with a very personalised touch. So if you treat renovating like a business, it will reward you just like a business will. So when you're setting up your business, what do you need to do first? Well, for one, you need to arrange your finances to be able to get the business up and running. Where do you get finance from? From a bank, from a private lender, from a financing group, from a money partner? That's pretty straightforward. But what sort of finance do you need? And how should you be setting up your funding? Are you going to be putting it in your own name? Are you going to be putting it in a company name or in the name of a trust? Oh my gosh, this is when it can get a little tricky. Sure, your brother or your uncle or your good mate said to you, they set it up this way and that's what worked for them. But the key is here that is them and their circumstances, what worked best for them. It might not be what works best for you. You need to set this up to suit you and your situation. So who can help figure this out? Who can help figure out this finance part then? A professional, of course. I can help you with everything renovating. And although I have renovated enough properties and I've seen all sorts of financial arrangements, I can't give you personalised financial advice. Now, an accountant, on the other hand, they can give you advice on the tax part of the financing in a very specific way. A lawyer can talk to you all about the legal side of things, and naturally, an insurance broker can talk to you all about the insurance side of things. So with finance covered off, let's move on to the next step. And this is all about choosing the right building blocks for your business. Now, it's kind of like Lego. Think about maybe your children or your nephews or your brothers or sisters, and they're building a tower out of colourful blocks, and the green block is just a little too small to fit the rest of their creation. It's not a good fit. And if they didn't notice it really early on, it could have meant that that entire tower came tumbling down. So the same goes with adult Lego of renovating. In this instance, you're renovating business. It's super important to get those fundamental building blocks right and not just poke around in the dark and hoping that all the pieces fit together. Now, this is structure, the building blocks of your business. It's personal to you and it relies on your specific circumstances, what you already have in terms of money and assets, for example. If you're a guru, mastermind, chief of everything business, great. Otherwise, if you're lost trying to decide between a partnership or a trust or a company or any of the other seemingly endless options that can sometimes feel confusing, it is ideal to speak to a pro. Yep, it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you some money to take this initial step. But remember, leave the professional stuff to the professionals. Save your precious time and energy, and you will save your sanity and your money in the long run. Building blocks in, check, fantastic, great. Now let's jump straight into asset protection. So protecting your hard-earned dough is what we need to speak about next. This part is about not about hiring like dodgy bodyguards or getting a couple of nasty-looking Dobermans or even wearing a big gold chain and having a suitcase handcuffed to your wrist. Asset protection has nothing to do with, looking after your backside either. It's really about making sure that you reduce the risk of something happening that brings all of your hard work undone. Essentially, it's like your buffer zone, like your blanket. It's purely designed to keep your money and your project safe. Now, it can be really tricky trying to cover all of this yourself, again, from all the different business angles. This is where legal advice and your lawyer comes in extremely handy. He or she can explain all the legal mumbo jumbo and set up all the barriers and all the asset protection structures so you don't have to worry about that at all. Now, in the next and the last step I'm going to talk to you about today, this is another safety net for you. So I want you to imagine, for example, a carpenter coming in and accidentally losing his leg through a rickety floorboard, or a massive storm launching a tree into the roofline of your renovated property. I know these two are really extreme, but realistically anything can happen and at any time. And just like you wouldn't skimp on insuring your own home, you wouldn't leave out insurance for one you're renovating either. But you need to be really sure when you're taking out cover for your insurance on your renovation project that you let them know the property's being renovated and for how long. Believe it or not, many insurers don't actually cover your property during that upgraded period. And it would be horrible to be paying for something that you actually then find out after damage has been caused that you're not covered. So how do you find the right insurance for the job then? To be honest with you, it's the flavour of today's post really, isn't it? You seek professional help on this one as well. An insurance broker is one of the ideal locations to go to. They are a whiz in all things insurance. And realistically, they're the ones that can point you in the right direction to make sure you have the right cover to protect yourself in any situation. And on that note, let's face it, I'm going to leave you with some homework today. If there's one thing to remember from today, it's that professional help when setting up your renovation business is worth its weight in gold. So your homework is write that down somewhere that you can see it every single day and never forget to ask for help. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Flipping Friday. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below so you don't miss a thing, and I'll see you on Sunday.